Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I bet you have heard of the replica of Noah's Ark that they built here in Kentucky. It's in the town of Williamstown, and they call it the Ark Encounter. And it's a lot more than just the Ark. It's kind of like a theme park, actually. There is a lot more to it than just the Ark. So I'm going to go through the Ark, show you what's in it, what it looks like on the outside, and everything else around it, the various facilities that are here as part of the what you might call a theme park. And at the senior rate, it costs about $58 for the admission and parking, which is maybe a little too much, maybe not. But they put a huge investment into this place and do a really professional job. So let me show you around. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the Ark, which is supposed to be the same dimensions as Noah's Ark. And here is the front of the Ark. Here's a shot directly in front of the Ark. Now this was a surprise to me. From the back, the Ark looks much different. It's like a box building. So that's a disappointment that it doesn't look the same all the way around. It's just kind of fake on the back side. And on the walkway to the arch, they have a few monuments they have created. This one is about the creation of man. Let's take a closer look at it here. And there's Adam and Eve. I wish it had a little better angle depiction of Eve. She looks a little on the thin side. And this one is about the fall of man, and it looks like they are eating grapes. I bet you thought it was apples. Nope, apparently it was grapes that did the trick. Punishment and promise. There's the bad guy, right there. And this is the worst part. They're wearing clothes. Drat. And did you notice that it didn't take long before the first murder was committed? They got right into that early on. And it's still sticking today. And now this one, wickedness fills the earth. I don't think I can tell though what wickedness they're talking about here. Might have to use your imagination. And eventually we're down to 8 people. We're all related to these 8 people, apparently. And over here, I'm not sure what that tower is for. Maybe I can find out. Oh, this is a zip line. You see that? I saw on the brochure that they had this zip line, which is closed for COVID. But guess what? The Ark is not closed for COVID. Here's a closer up scan of the Ark. Uh-oh. Now these 2 giraffes looks like they're not too excited about going into the Ark. They're the only animals out here. They better get themselves in, or they're going to be in for big trouble. So now I'm going to go inside the ark. Now this is like a disclosure notification showing how they took artistic license in development of the ark here. The ark encounter, as they call it. I like this animal sounds. Here are some of the cages. Can you imagine how much feeding and cleaning up all this took? I bet it was more tightly compacted though on the original ark. Here's the front end of the ark, showing some of the construction infrastructure of it. I wonder where Noah got all these steel brackets and bolts. He must have made his own brackets and bolts. This is the outside wall of the ark with all these pots, which I guess would be full of feed for the animals. Boy, that storm is really kicking up. Here's some good education. They had smart feeders, and I don't think I would want this guy's job. So this is the way the cages work. You put the feed in here, and then you put water in here, and I guess that's what you call this, smart feeders. Here's Noah and his wife and his 6 sons and daughters-in-law. Here is the bales of feed and the water pots. Looks like somebody has made off with a couple of these that are missing. I wonder how they get these pots out of there. See this one? How will they get that pot out without sawing through the wood? That's got to be tricky. Here's some bears, pigs. Good thing the dinosaurs were all gone by then. The sea life probably didn't even notice any difference. But this is interesting. Now these pots with the canvas covers, this one has breakaway so you can see. It's used to house real small animals, frogs. You can barely see it there in the dark. So there's a lot of these canvas covered pots to store the small animals, insects. Actually, I wish most of the insects would have drowned out. Here's some more interesting information. And here's how they figure how many animals were on the ark. And they actually have a list of them. Here's the structure at the front end. This is where I want to live. In the perfect world. I wonder how long that actually lasted. You know, it seems to me like a perfect world would be more than just very good. Interesting terminology. There's some more animals in cages. There's rhinoceroses, giraffes. They also told us that the animals that came onto the ark were just very small young animals, so they wouldn't take up much room and wouldn't eat as much. We've got all kinds of odd animals here. She's doing some work up there, giving them some water. A lot of info displays like this. This shows how some of the feeding was done.
How did I find all the animals? Well, it really wasn't hard to find the animals, since God brought them right to me, just as He said He would. I just wondered when He would send them. We were nearly finished building the ark when hundreds of spectacular animals arrived. I should have known. God's timing is perfect, and He always keeps His promises.
Well, this I did not know. The ark actually had an elevator. I bet that was convenient. This shows their living quarters. And here's Mrs. Noah in the kitchen. Here's the living room. Green beans still fresh after all these years. And here's where they grew their own vegetables. Had a vegetarian diet. That's what I suspected. Not going to slaughter any of the animals. They had to go vegetarian for a couple months. A lot of hanging plants too. These are the bird cages.
We hope you are enjoying your visit to the Ark Encounter. Please remember to wear a face covering when it is difficult.
They have a buffet restaurant here. This is where I had lunch. I found it to be pretty good, and it's reasonably priced. Self-service drinks and paper cups, so you can take them with you. That's the buffet restaurant building. They also have this place with beef and pork barbecue sandwiches, and also a pizza and hamburger place here. Now I'm going to take a brief look into their zoo. Well, the deer look pretty bored. You can see their ears moving, but that's it. You can take a camel ride if you want. Ooh, I wonder what happened to this guy. Got a zebra. They have some really large pens and corrals here, but not many animals. This is why I've never done a zoo video. It's kind of boring. And they're just barely moving. Nothing exciting going on here. Well, that is my brief tour of what's here. There's a whole lot more inside the ark to see, but a lot of it does not relate to the ark. A lot of it is just promoting Christianity, which I think is the main purpose of the place. It was all done and inspired and built and managed by one particular man who this was his big goal in life, and he did it. So I give it to him for doing what he felt was his life's work. And there is a lot more here to see. I just showed you what I thought was a decent length for the video. Good day, folks.